What's up, power hitters, solar warrior tribe? Today is Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. My name is Jarrett McAllister, the virtual solar pro, alongside my co-host, Jonathan Bernasso. If you are watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your fellow solarpreneurs. Mr. Bernasso, how are you doing today?
Good morning, Jarrett. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. You know, I've been reflecting on the fact that I just hit my 3 years of going all in. I put in my 3-week notice with Sunrun. That's right. I put in a 3-week notice with Sunrun in 2020 of May. And I proceeded to do 26 deals in the month of May in 2020. And it's been 3 years of going all in. And I'll do a post about it later, but just feeling great, man. It's unreal what we've accomplished in such a short time.
It truly has been life-changing since that time. I actually remember you shooting me a text saying, dude, I think I'm about to quit Sunrun and do this full time. And I was like, you haven't done that yet?
That's right.
No, that's I know, looking back on that, I think of late 2019, early 2020, when we were getting this going and starting these meetings weekly, and they truly have evolved. And look, they've evolved so much. We're coming full circle, right? We're starting back with the basics again. So today's going to be a great training. It's kind of coming off the momentum from last week. We had JC Rangel, who did a phenomenal training on getting started with power, your fast start, building your team, generating leads right in the beginning so you have some momentum. And this is going to be the next step, right? So how to pitch, how to talk, how to generate those bills. So we're going to do some elevator pitches today. Hope you guys all enjoy that. With that being said, let's start this week like we do every week. And that's with some success stories. So if you are new to the platform, if you sold a deal, if you have a new team member, go ahead and raise your hand. I'm going to call on a few of you, and feel free to share. Also, feel free to share in the chat if you'd like to as well. First hand we have raised.
Fina.
Is it Fina?
Yes, it's Fina.
Hi, Fina.
Hi. Great news for me. Just became tier 3 under Chris Brunasio this week in
Awesome.
Illinois, Chicagoland area. So hit me up, any people that want to sell in Illinois.
Wow.
Right on. Great job, Fina. Welcome. And yeah, that's incredible. Becoming a tier 3. I've said it multiple times. You'll hear me say it again. It's the greatest, being the greatest lead source in the solar industry is being a tier 3 seller on the Powur platform. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Right on. Moving on, we have my man, Mr. John Bones. What's up, brother? Bobness, Bones, what? Yeah.
Dude, come on, man. That's killed me. I was gonna come on here and go, Jared McAllister, my brother from another mother, and then I'm like, definitely not, because I'm the adopted ugly stepchild, clearly.
I thought
But
the
it
B
is
was fine.
John Bones.
And the fact that Bernasso gets it, when John Bernasso knows your last name, you're doing something right. So I'm super excited, and my win is about helping somebody else. Sales are good and all that. I mean, I love making money and all that's great. But I was at my local Home Depot wearing my Solar Hero shirt, and I hear a guy go, "Oh, you must already have solar." And it was one of the guys from Sunrun who's behind one of those, hey, we can power your house with the sun signs. And I go, yeah, of course. And I said, you got a great personality. I go, you must be killing it. And the guy almost went like into a depression. He's like, I'm thinking of leaving the industry. He goes, I'm having so much trouble. He goes, some people are looking up our reviews and I'm just arguing constantly. And I go, man, with a personality like yours, man, you just need the right business vehicle. I go, I'm excited. I wake up every day jumping out of bed with all the people that I can help. And he goes, well, tell me about your company. He goes, we just heard bad stuff from Sunrun about you. And so I gave him a little bit of just a touch on some of the stuff. I go, but it's really about helping other people. I go, the reason I'm so excited is because every day I get to get up and help a bunch of people. It's like being a social worker with $1 million compensation plan attached to it. And he goes, $1 million? I go, I know people. I go, look, I'm introducing to John Bernasso if you get on this damn Zoom. I go, but how cool is it that I can introduce you to people that are from your company that are making 7 figures and they're excited just like me to jump out of bed every day. I go, the culture is incredible over here. So the guy goes, please take my number. We need to talk. But I mean, that's what's the cool thing is that if you're just smiling and happy and walking around solar branded, you're going to have people that are just going to touch you. And I don't know, man, I just got so excited. That was like the biggest win. It was better than getting a $20,000 commission check, which is what I got the other day. It's like, how cool was it to have the e-wallet say, we can't transfer all your money into your account? I was like, woo! This is a great business. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so proud to help you guys. And I just love you guys. So if you need anything from me, you got to reach out. I got infinite energy for all you guys. Love you.
John, I love that, man. Bringing the energy. That's incredible. Honestly, this business, it truly does give you the ability to help others, right? And being excited about doing so. You took that guy out of a depression. I mean, I don't know if I was standing around with that sign working for someone, I'd be pretty down and out as well. You changed that man's life. So excited for him, excited for you. Isn't it cool when, yeah, you cannot transfer all your money automatically from your e-wallet? You have to manually go in there and start sending it out. So very cool. And the fact that we do have our very own Jonathan Bernasso is a huge example from someone who left Sunrun and is now making 7 figures here at Powur. Great job, brother. Love it. Thank you for sharing.
I like how he was like, making a 20K commission is cool. By the way, I did that too, but that was great. Subtle plug.
Right on, right on. All right, Mark Chapman. I know how to say that last name. That's easy. All right, what you got, Mark?
Hey guys, just got my first install coming up. That's it. May 30th. Yeah, I'm excited about that. So my very first install, May 30th, have another one June 2nd, and then I have another one that's not scheduled yet. So there you go.
Mark, where did you get a lead from? And do you plan to bring Gatorades and knock the doors and pass out flyers? Give us
Yes, sir. I'm under Christopher Collier. So I have gotten a flyer from him from day one. I got here December 10th, rode around with him for a week. After that, I door knocked 100 a day from January to April. Awesome. So that's how I got my first 3. We should have closed a lot more. I had several just fall off and went with somebody else during the 2.0, fiasco. So, but that got me on the ground and running. I want to give a shout out to Christopher Perez. We went down to Vegas. I door knocked down there on one of his installs. Just people in this company are just amazing, man. I can't say enough. Awesome.
Love it. Love it, Mark. Great job, brother. First of many installs to come for you, my man.
Yes, sir.
Right on, right on. Next, we have a couple that I love, Jim and Michelle Pointer. Another Jim and Michelle in Powur. These are my Jim and Michelle. What's up, guys?
We changed our name just to fit in, man. No, we got our first sale, moved on to tier 2. Thank you for all your guidance, dude. You're a beast. And we're enjoying the Powur platform, coming from another company where in our first 9 months, we did around 45 deals. And just the potential to, really get more training under our belt with what we have here on the platform and have people that are much, much smarter than ourselves. to help out is really a blessing and makes our job a lot easier.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it, you guys. Yeah, no, great job. For those that don't know, Michelle and Jim, they actually reached out to me on LinkedIn, and they had seen the platform and they wanted to take advantage of it, and we connected. They're, highly successful out in the Vegas area, and I'm just so excited to see what the future holds for them with team building and crushing it, in the Vegas market. So great job, you two.
Hey, we got our first seller under us yesterday too.
What's that?
Your second seller under us yesterday too, I should say.
Already growing the team. Love it. Right on, you guys. Thanks for sharing. Okay, one last one. We will go, if Daniel's iPhone, if they are available. Oh, here he comes. What's up, Daniel?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I think we've had this conversation briefly before. I wasn't like officially on board. I guess I was just part of I think it's JC's Team Freedom, his little website he has with the training. But I'm officially on board on the platform. My story is that yesterday I spent like a few hours at Panera Bread and soaked up their Wi-Fi to peace and quiet to go through the Tier 1 certification. And man, I just want to say I love the way that it's set up. And man, it's the way it is like classroom textbook, so it's easier to understand. I learned a lot yesterday, and in doing so, I ran into this guy. He asked me, he just kept looking at me, and he came over there and complimented my boots, and then he asked me what it is that I do, and I just went on a whole freaking rant. Well, not rant, but like I had a mouthful to say about Powur from what I know for just understanding solar or whatever. And he said he has his own internet company, but he wanted to basically network, so we exchanged phone numbers. So that's two pluses for me yesterday, and I felt pretty accomplished, and the sense of purpose, the spirit was strong with that. So yesterday was a great day. I look forward to knocking the rest of that out and becoming official on with Tier 1 and then moving from there. Congratulations to Jim and is it Michelle? Likewise with I believe Mark. You guys continue to keep pushing, like they said, there's many more to come. And John, wait to bring value to somebody's life, man. This is what I mean. The Powur for me is not just a job, not even a career, but a lifestyle. So it's more than just about, the sales or whatever. It's about reaching out and touching other people's lives, providing value, and so on and so forth. You guys know the rest. I won't go into that, but I appreciate you guys for what y'all had to offer, and I look forward to the rest of the call.
Daniel, thank you for sharing that, man. And yeah, you've been on this call for a few weeks now and jumping on board and completing your Tier 1, about to get that done. I have a quick question. You said a man complimented you on your boots. What kind of boots were you rocking? Man,
I've actually had this compliment before. So let me, for all you guys, these are actually Steve Madden boots. They're $60 at Journey's Underground. So, not too loud, not too, I like them. But I don't know if maybe that was his way to kind of build rapport with me, or if he really actually liked them. But it was nice to kind of have like a little breakthrough, because I'm really big on networking. I think that's a very important thing when it comes to this kind of lifestyle we live. So I think there might be some good coordination coming out of that connection yesterday.
Sounds
Thanks
like
for the
you're rocking those boots every day, man. So
I'm about to start. I got some brown ones too.
Right on, man. Love it. Love the energy. Thank you to everybody sharing your success stories. Really appreciate it. Super motivating for everyone here on the team. Jonathan, shall we move on?
Yes, sir. Thanks, Jarrett. I'm going to keep it short and sweet today so we can get right to the training. But basically, guys, please mark your calendars for June 3rd, Saturday. Invite any enterprise candidates or guests from 9 a.m. to 10. And in your newsletter yesterday, you'll see all the content that's going to be talked about June 3rd, Saturday. So please mark your calendars. Huge, huge, huge. June 3rd. And of course, Powur World in San Diego is going to be coming up soon. Stay tuned for that. You have to be there as well. And of course, I always mention Mentor Factory, July 21st and 22nd.
Are you sharing slides right now?
No, I'm just gonna say those three things.
Okay.
So, I'll let you share the slides here in a second, Jarrett, but June 3rd, guys, Solar Saturday. Read your newsletter. There's a ton of stuff in the newsletter, including marketing material. So really take 5-10 minutes, go through the Monday newsletter every week. There's tons and tons of nuggets in there. Make sure you're signed up for Mentor Factory. I put it in the chat. Go to mentorfactory2023.com, 2 days in person. And you all know all the trainings we go over every single week. There's everyday trainings from leases, PPA, Sonova on Wednesdays, Enterprise Thursdays. And if you want to learn about Enterprise, you better be on the June 3rd Zoom as well, as we push towards this Memorial Day weekend, and then June 3rd around the corner. So that's enough about trainings. We go over it every week per usual. Read your newsletter, and let's go ahead and jump into today's training, Jarrett, and we'll get rocking and rolling here.
Cool. Absolutely. So let me share my screen.
And the Power World San Diego, some of us pre-ordered tickets, but stay tuned in the next 2-3 weeks for the link for tickets, Charles and everyone else, about Power World. Power World is in San Diego. The hotel has not been announced yet. Stay tuned.
Very good. Oh, and one last thing, and we forgot to mention, but like we do every single week, thank you, Mr. Chris Bernasso, for putting together the solarmasterguide.com, where it goes over everything Power, everything you need, steps to succeed, getting started, tools, training, lead generation, talks about NEM3. So bookmark that, solarmasterguide.com. It is an extremely resourceful tool to use. So with that being said, we're going to move on to our topic of the week, and that's going to be your elevator pitch. So let me just preface this by saying there's, people get caught up with how to get started in this industry, how to get started in this business. And there is so much to learn, especially if you haven't come from solar, right? If that's not your industry, you're like, oh man, how does this solar even work? What kind of panels do we have? What's an inverter? How net metering. There's just so much to learn in the industry, and I think it prevents people from taking action. And we've said this so many times, and I'm going to reiterate it now because we're coming off of the Fast Start training JC Rangel did last week. And if you didn't see that, I highly recommend going back, checking out the recording. It's on my YouTube channel. But really, the only thing you need to do, and this even goes for advanced solar reps, and this is all that we do, the key to success is generating electric bills. That's it. That's all you need to do. And especially if you're new, like Daniel, you're out there, you're excited, you're doing your tier 2, but really the key to your business is generating electric bills. And you get it, submit it, tag a tier 3, and that's when you're going to really learn the solar industry, learn about panels and placing and inverters and pricing and financing, all of that stuff that's going to come after you generate electric bills. So what I wanted to train you guys on today is how I generate electric bills. And that's by with my quick, it's an elevator pitch. Now, you guys all know what an elevator pitch is, right? An elevator pitch is a quick little 20-30 second pitch that you have, could be even shorter. And it's called elevator pitch because you could say it in the time you got on an elevator with somebody before they get off the next floor, right? The whole purpose of an elevator pitch is to just grab their attention, pique their interest. It's not to sell them on solar. It's not to answer all their questions, to get into the nitty-gritty details. It's just to pique their interest. Basically, like if you're fishing, you want to set the bait. You're just trying to get a bite. Okay. So I was fortunate enough when I came into this industry, for me, how I had my success is I had a book of business. Many of you guys know I sold ADT for 20 plus years. So I had a whole list of clients, and I would go back to my clients and people who I, signed up then and there on the spot. And I told them that I was doing solar. I let everybody know that I was doing solar. And that's, one of the huge keys to your success is not being a secret agent. But it's just asking simple questions. This is not complicated. It's just a few bullet points, and you're just trying to set the bait to get an appointment. Once you generate appointments, that's when a tier 3 is going to take it the rest of the way. But I wanted to go over what my solar elevator pitch is. Jonathan, he could chime in if he, has one. But I start off by asking every single person that I talk to that I haven't talked to already, by asking them, well, first, let me back up. I let them know when they ask me what I do, or if I'm talking to them, I let them know that I work with the fastest growing decentralized renewable energy platform in the country. That gets them excited. And I'll ask them, I'll say, have you guys ever considered solar for your home? Now, what's the response going to be to that? Yes, we have. No, we haven't. Either way, I don't care what they say, right? I'm just asking. It's an open question. Have you ever considered solar for your home? And if they say, no, we haven't, or yes, we have, I would then follow up with just some quick bullet points. Well, just to let you know, we offer 0 down solar. It eliminates your electric bill. You save thousands of dollars a year. We have a huge 30-year bumper-to-bumper warranty and a tax credit between like $10,000, $15,000 that's still available. Would you be interested in getting a free quote? Now, that is something simple that I believe that everybody and anybody could say and memorize by the end of this training. So it's quick, concise. It's got some, excitement between. It's just quick little bullet points to pique their interest. So what are those bullet points? We offer 0 down solar. Literally doesn't cost you a penny out of pocket to get going. Eliminates your electric bill, or virtually eliminates your electric bill. Okay, that's a good thing. Save thousands of dollars a year. 30-year bumper to bumper warranty. You could even throw in, we use American made panels, and then a huge $10,000 to $15,000 tax credit. Now, you notice I'm not saying exactly 30%, but $10,000 to $15,000, that sounds like a lot. And typically that's usually what the range is. Would you be open to getting a free quote? That's it. Now, if they say no, which rarely does anybody do, you can go into some of handling the objections, finding out the reason why. It may be because they got a quote before and the numbers didn't make sense. That's possible. And at that point, you could explain to them that, we're different. We have a different platform. And for 90% of our clients, the numbers make tremendous amount of sense. And I'd like to share that with you. So go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, Jerry. I like where it's like, are you open-minded to getting a savings report? We're finding that other smart, savvy homeowners with pools or electric cars are getting ahead of this. And one thing I did recently, guys, if you download the Solar Edge app, you can see like, this is my house, but there's dummy houses. So you could pull up the app, pull up a sample home and be like, yeah, check out this system. Look at their solar producing. And I did this to someone recently and they're like, dude, how much is that electric bill? And I was like, it's $8. And they're like, I have to get information. So just a couple little tricks there to add on for you.
For sure. Yeah. And it's not everybody knows about solar. More and more people are starting to learn about it or know somebody that has solar, but we all know somebody now that has solar where the savings are phenomenal. And all of us, I mean, that's the other thing. You got to say this with conviction, right? When you talk about saving money, nothing out of pocket, eliminating their electric bill, when you say it with passion, like who wouldn't want these things? And then it's just saying, would you be open to getting a free quote? So once again, take a screenshot of this, write it down, practice it. Your bullet points. You need to, in any quick setting, within 10, 15 seconds, be able to recite this off the top of your head, offering 0 down solar, eliminating your electric bill, saving thousands of dollars a year, huge tax credit, 30-year warranty. Would you like it? Would you be open to getting a free quote?
That enthusiasm is half the battle, not coming off too salesy, sales breath. And even, we'll cover this later, but even a little takeaway, not, 1 in 4 homes don't qualify. We don't know if this is a good fit for you. Are you open-minded to seeing if a savings report makes sense for the problem that we're trying to solve, your electric bill?
And what's great is you guys don't need to know all the answers, right? This is all you need to know in the beginning, is how to say this. Now, what's the best thing that someone could do after that? Is ask you a question. Well, what kind of panels do you guys use? That is a buying question, right? That means they're interested, but it's not for you to answer that, right? It's at that point, you're going to push it onto your mentor and edify them and say, you know what, that's a great question. My sales manager is going to be the one who goes over all this information with you. So write that down and he'll be able to answer all those questions for you. So you don't need to know any other answers. Deflect it to your tier 3, but you just need to know how to set the bait and generate a lead by asking questions. So this is the elevator pitch. Hopefully you guys all wrote that down. Moving on, the next thing. So if they say, yeah, I think we'd be open to getting a free quote. At that point, you want to ask some basic discovery questions. Now, this is going to set you up for success. It's going to set up your tier 3 for success if you're using a mentor. And you don't need to use all of these questions. Sometimes I use all of them. Sometimes I use a few of them. You'll fill it out. You guys are salespeople. But this is what's going to help you design the system, give your tier 3 the proper information, or yourself if you're doing it. And so some questions, if Jonathan, I said, would you be interested in getting a free quote? And then you replied back with yes. I'm going to say, all right, great. Well, hey, let me just ask you a few questions here. Jonathan, how long have you lived in the home?
About 7 years now, I think.
Okay, so you've been there a little bit. And let me ask you, what kind of roof do you guys have? Do you know? Do you know if it's a top shingle or
some sort of tile or something? It looks like the same in all the other homes, I think.
Okay, so you have do you know if it's like clay tile or concrete tile?
I'm not sure.
Okay, don't worry about that. We'll be able to take a look at from a Google image. And you said, is your home relatively new?
Yeah, it's about 15 years ago, I think. We moved in, they built these Chino Hills homes and we've been here for about 7 years. Yeah.
Okay. And let me ask you, Jonathan, I mean, do you guys use as much electricity that you would like to, or do you guys kind of conserve during the summer because of the high bills, or?
I mean, I'd like to keep it at 68 at night upstairs, but we run fans or try to do things so we don't have a $600-700 bill again. So we'd like to use a little bit more.
Okay, yeah, that's good to know. And we can definitely help you out with that. One of the great things about solar is it allows you can build it to use as much of electricity that you want. So you don't need to be, conserving during the summer months if you don't want to. Let me ask you another question. Do you guys plan on your electrical usage going up in the future, or do you stay the same, going down?
We actually test drove one of those EVs recently. Seems like every other person has a Tesla these days in Southern California, and we're thinking about a Model 3 by next year. I think that's the plan.
Okay, so by next year, all right. And how many miles do you drive a year annually?
I want to say about 10,000.
About 10,000. Perfect. Any plans for a hot tub, jacuzzi, a pool?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. And and it's okay if you don't, but do you know what size electrical panel you have, main service panel?
I don't. I know the homes are only about 15 years old here in Chino Hills, so probably decent. No idea.
All right. Well, if you could take a picture of the panel and send it to me, if you open it up, take a picture of the label on the inside, that would be helpful. And
What's
that's
that-
it. You guys.
What's that for?
So I know what size electrical panel you guys have.
Oh, okay.
In certain cases, we need to upgrade the electrical panel depending on the size. But so if you could send it over to me, that would be great.
Got it.
So this right here is just a few discovery questions. Or is there any other ones do you like to use, Jonathan?
I mean, those are some of the classic ones there. Pool, EV. Do you run it as much as you want? Is anyone moving in or moving into the house is usually a question I like to ask. And, I do some of this during the presentation too, but if there's a really big spike on their bill in summer, their HVAC condenser unit might be old. So sometimes getting a feel for that too, but otherwise this is all the core questions for sure.
Perfect. So guys, take a screenshot of this, write it down if you need to. Once again, just some key discovery questions, and you'll start to learn this. The more and more you do it, you'll have a feel for what questions to ask. Really, the main ones are finding out if they're, how long they've lived there, so you know how much usage they have. If they're going to get an EV, because EVs are very popular right now, and more people are considering to get them. And if they are planning to get an EV, you definitely want to account for that when sizing the system. I asked them if they are going to get an EV, would you be interested in us installing an EV charger? Because we do offer that. It's just another added value that we provide. And then if you can get them to take a picture of their electrical panel, so or have a good idea if we're going to need to do a main panel upgrade or not, that helps out as well. Makes you look like the professional. So yeah, finding out if they anticipate any future usage fluctuating or if it's going to stay the same. That's it. Very simple. So some key discovery questions to ask. After that, after you've asked them a few questions, I close them on the appointment. So, and getting the electrical usage. So, hey, thank you for telling me that, Jonathan. So if you could do me a favor, if you could actually just log into your utility company, download the past 12 months of your usage and send that over to me, I could have my engineering team design a custom system based on your family's usage and provide you guys with a free quote. Now, it would be over Zoom and only take about 30-40 minutes to go over everything. What time tomorrow would you and your spouse be available together? So what I'm doing right there is a few different things. So one is that I'm asking them to get the electrical usage. Now, why are we asking for 12 months worth of usage? Now, it depends on different markets. Some markets show 12 months worth of usage on one bill. That's great. Not all do. And if it doesn't, and if you just get one electrical bill and it's in January and it's only 800 kilowatt hours, but then it's ripping hot during the summer, it's not going to be accurate. You're not going to be able to accurately design the system. So I always go for 12 months. I explain to them why I need those 12 months if they ask. And I also let them know it's very simple to just log into their utility company to get that information, send it over to me. The other thing is I'll let them know. I mean, now personally, I've done almost 150 deals, 100% virtually. They've all been on Zoom. I've never had anyone not willing to do a Zoom call. And I let them know it's easy, it's simple, takes about 30 to 40 minutes. Could it be longer than that? Sure, based on how many questions they have. But I can usually get the information out in that amount of time. And then I'm asking, when's the time that them and their spouse would be together tomorrow to go over this information. So one, I'm planning sense of urgency. I don't want to ask them to send me the 12 months and then do a presentation 3-4 days down the road. If possible, I'm going to start with the quickest, closest time to make this happen as possible. Now, if he replies back, say, oh, you know what, tomorrow's not good. Okay, what about Wednesday? Is Wednesday good, or would Thursday be better? Right? So I'm always going to hit with the next closest possible available time to do this presentation. The other thing I'm always asking, and I'm always bringing up, is the spouse. You guys, at the end of the day, this is a $30, $40, $50, $60,000 construction project on their home. Do not present a one-legged appointment. I cannot stress this enough. Even if they say, oh, no, it sounds good. You know what? My husband, he's busy, he's working. You could just tell me, I'll relay the information. It doesn't work that way, you guys. You will shoot yourselves in the foot. You will need to work around their schedule to find a time, 30, 40 minutes, and just let them know. Say, hey, I understand he's busy, but there's a lot of information that goes into it. It's an important decision. And if I relayed all this information to you, and then you tried to pass it on, he's going to have questions. You're not going to have the answers. We're going to end up doing it again. Like I said, I can actually work around your schedule and be flexible. So always, always, always go for both husband and wife, spouses together to present this information, and it will help your close ratio dramatically. And once again, and so I say, when are you guys usually around together? Because that's the thing, families have different times. Husband's home or the wife's out, someone's got to pick up the kids, then they're having dinner. It may not be until 8:30 at night after they put the kids down. You got to be willing to work around their schedule, and it's worth it to do so to make sure that you're pitching to both the husband and the wife. And then once we agree to a time, I say, great, I'm going to go ahead and send you over a Google Calendar invite with the Zoom link that'll be on there. And I look forward to seeing you guys. That's it.
Just to add on to that, from the get-go, I just put it in the chat to go over your full solar savings report proposal. When you and any other decision makers are free, please click here. So you have to hit that. Is your spouse available? Let's do it when you're both available. Let's do it at a time when you're not at work, when the kids aren't making tons of noise. Like, when's a good time for a 30-minute Zoom call? And just really all decision makers. You probably push it a little bit more than I do. I'm a little bit more relaxed on it, but you have to mention it a few times for sure.
Definitely save it a few times. So that's it, you guys. I mean, it's really having your quick opening bullet point elevator pitch. Right? Zero down solar, eliminate your electric bill, huge savings annually, 30-year warranty, 30% tax credit, $10,000, $15,000. Would you be open to a free quote? If they say yes, asking a few discovery questions. How long have you lived in the home? Do you plan on getting an EV? Do you use as much electricity as you'd like to? And then from there, saying, great, you can just send me over your electric bills, your past 12 months. So that way, my engineering team, we can do a custom design system for your home and your needs. And then we can set up a 30, 40-minute Zoom, go over everything, answer all your questions, very educational, and see if it makes sense for you guys. That's another line. I didn't write that in there, but I've always used that line when setting up appointments, just to see if it makes sense. Because if it makes sense, great. We can take care of you and do a great job for you. If it doesn't make sense, worst case scenario out of this, you'll learn a lot about solar and how it works in the industry these days. Sound good? Perfect.
Worst case, you'll be a good ambassador and make lots of $1,000 checks, because we have that too. What I was going to say, one thing, maybe want to go to my last slide actually, but it's important to know, too, don't get down on yourselves, right? Like, if you talk to 50 people a day, do you think 2 or 3 are going to say yes? Do you think 1 or 2 will book the appointment? It's just a numbers game. I see sometimes reps get caught up on one person oh, their homeowners or realtor and they're saying not to do it. Like, you know, don't get too stuck on it. Just move on, go knock 100 doors like that prior gentleman did as well. All right, so yeah, we have 2 more slides here. I wanted to throw in a few bullet points myself. And Jerry, you might be good on these. Just some common objections when you're out there having these conversations, you know, and I think the 0 down kind of solves this. I'll start with this one. So when someone says, oh, it's a lot, oh, it's too expensive, oh, I have other projects going on, you know, first of all, it's good to say, yeah, a lot of my current customers thought the same thing too. What they found is with the 0 down loans, financing, or even renting the system, this is one of the only home improvements that actually lower your monthly expenses while adding home value. Do you mind me asking what about it you think is expensive? So right there, it's like, you know, that was pretty good. It was like you reaffirm, you relate, you say that your clients found that as well. What they found is, and then you want to ask one more question. What about it do you think is expensive? Just a classic way. Often we get emotional, right? Well, what do you mean? There's 0 down. Like, why do you think it's expensive? Like, no, it's not expensive. You know, instead of getting emotional and defensive, try to practice some of those techniques. Jerry,
Good old feel, felt, found.
Yeah, exactly. Others, how does that work? I feel that they felt the same way. What they found was.
Yeah. But you know, when people say it's too expensive, same thing, right? Say, you know, I understand how you could feel that way. But I've actually had customers once they took a look at it, they realized it was more expensive just continuing to pay the utility rates year after year as they're going up. And they're not adding any equity to their home. They're not saving anything. What they found is when they went solar, it didn't cost them anything out of pocket. The monthly payment for their solar was dramatically less than what they were currently paying. And then they were adding equity to their home. And eventually when the thing's paid off, you don't have an electric bill. So, you know, I'd love to just kind of show you a free quote. It takes about 30, 40 minutes and just see if it makes sense. It may not, but worst case scenario, you'll understand, you know, if solar's right for you guys.
Yeah, I love that. And then, my bill's not that high is one that I've heard often in my 9 years of experience. Now, between you guys and me, they're just fibbing. Okay. Their summer bill is really $380, $400, but they'll say, oh, it's just around $120. And they're just saying that because they got a March bill with a $20 climate credit and they don't think it's. And so I like to approach that one different ways. You know, sometimes I might just be like, oh yeah, I hear you. A lot of my clients thought their $90, $120 bill was low also. They only needed a few solar panels. You know, do you mind me asking, what does your bill get to in the middle of summer staying comfortable? And then you might be able to get their biggest number if they're able to tell you. Jared, if we could, let's go to one more slide. I want to cover 2 or 3 bullet points and then I need to hop off, but we'll stay on here for Q&A, office hours. And I think a few people have their hands raised as well. Thanks, brother. All right, so I just wanted to leave you with a few key ideas on all this theme here. As we mentioned, I love this idea. If you look at Jeremy Lee Miner's training, which, by the way, I think you can go into Knowledge Base or University and look up the masterclass, and you can find his training, guys. We paid tens of thousands of dollars to have him train us twice. So what he teaches on is, are you open-minded? You know, because no one wants to be closed-minded. So are you open-minded to seeing if you qualify, to seeing if this works for you? And when you follow up with someone, don't say, hey, Bill, I'm just following up. A common line that he teaches is, hey, Bill, you probably haven't had time yet, but can you send over the electric bill by Tuesday or Thursday?
That's
And-
great. I love that.
Yeah, it's like when the kids haven't made their bed. Hey, you probably haven't had time, Sally, to make your bed yet, but versus saying, go make your bed. And then instead of saying, hey, Sally, just following up with you today. Hey, Sally, I have a window of time today, about 2 to 3 hours, to see if I can answer your questions and help you out, so versus the classic follow-up. And always remember, we're solving problems. We are solution-based problem solvers. The Inc. 43 warranty, best 500 million this year, nationwide company, all that's great, but that might trigger some sales cues when you're out and about. So the problem is the utility. The problem is their rate hikes. The problem is time of use. The problem is the grid can't handle it with all these EVs coming on. What we get to do is offer a solution to close that gap, to give you the independence. I'm not sure if it's going to qualify, you're going to qualify for it, but if you're open-minded, maybe one of my teammates can see if you're a good fit for it, right? So nonchalant, just confidence, competence, solving problems. And I always like to give 2 options. Are you guys available Tuesday or Thursday for a 30-minute to see if you qualify? That little takeaway there. And then, the classic tip is when you're out and about, just look down on your phone. Okay, I'll send you a text. I'll check in with you Friday. By that time, if you're able to speak to your wife, we'll pick a time next week. What's the number to text you at? And that's another little closing tip as well. So hopefully a few
Jedi
little
mind
nuggets.
tricks.
Yeah, hopefully a few little nuggets. And I'm sure there's a few shares on this topic as well, but that's all I have today, Jared.
That's great. Actually, that last one just reminded me of the old school when we were going out knocking on doors and we were going to get their information. Say, yeah, you know what? I can give you a call. Your number's 925, and you just look down and you would start off with the area code, very assumptive, and you would waiting for them to finish it. They're like, 4, 5, 7, and then continue on. But yeah, that's a good one. So yeah, no, you guys, once again, I know some of this is basic for some of you here on the call. Some of it might be a good, reminder, but really you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars by just mastering these few simple key steps and then being relentless about talking to every single person that you run into. You have to throw this into your lexicon, right? It's when you meet somebody at church, you're at the restaurant, at your kid's soccer game, out and about, when you're talking to clients from other, from past business relationships. It's letting everybody know that you are in the solar industry, asking if they're open-minded to getting a free quote, having a few bullet points to get them excited about it, and then learn how to close on setting an appointment. That's all you need to do. It's not complicated. It's very simple and extremely rewarding. So with that said, yeah, there were some people that had their hands raised. We'll go ahead and open up a little bit of Q&A on this topic here. And then at 11 o'clock, Jonathan needs to jump, but I'll stick around for a half hour, do open office hour. So Daniel's iPhone, you have your hand raised. Go ahead, my man. You are on mute. Yep, you're still muted, brother.
And real quick, I'm going to put into the chat that Jeremy Lee Minor training, Power Convention. There's the video, 2 hours of just gold on that last link I just sent. You can go to powerconvention.com and access all the trainings from that.
Very cool. All right. Ricardo.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
the-
I made everyone unable to unmute. So let me.
Oh, sorry. Then we'll go back to Daniel. He was trying to unmute himself.
Actually, Jared, if you can go to participants and then hit more and allow to unmute.
Participants.
Let me know if you see it.
Yeah. Just give me 1 second. Allow participants. They should be. I don't see it that they'd be all muted.
All right, good to go. We can go ahead and go to the first speaker here.
All right, Daniel.